In Costa Rica, a research team led by Dr. Michael Morbius ventures into a remote cave. At the entrance, Morbius makes a cut on his hand, letting his blood drip into the darkness. Instantly, a swarm of bats bursts out, drawn to the scent. Alarmed, the rest of the team quickly retreats to their helicopter. 25 years earlier in Greece, a young Michael is under the care of Dr. Emil Nicholas, struggling with a rare blood disorder. A new patient, Lucian, arrives with the same condition. Michael nicknames him Milo, after the previous boy who stayed there. The two bond, but when Milo's medical machine begins to fail, Michael ingeniously repairs it with a spring from a ballpoint pen, saving his new friend. Nicholas is stunned by his brilliance. Later, Milo suffers bullying from other children who mock his illness and assault him. In the present, Morbius is nominated for a Nobel Prize in Sweden but rejects the honor, dedicating himself fully to his research. He treats a young patient named Anna, who shares his condition, while working alongside his colleague and partner, Dr. Martine Bancroft. She worries about how far he is pushing himself. Their research, funded by Milo, focuses on splicing bat DNA with human blood in hopes of finding a cure. Using bats collected from the Costa Rican cave, Morbius tests his experimental serum on a lab rat. Initially, it dies, but moments later, the rat revives, proof that his theory works. Encouraged, Morbius meets with Milo and Nicholas to request further funding for human trials aboard a ship in international waters. Milo, still under Nicholas's care, has grown close to Michael like a brother. Morbius insists the work must be done immediately, before time runs out for both of them. Morbius assembles Martine and a small crew aboard a ship to carry out the next phase of his experiment. Martine administers the serum, and at first, everything seems controlled, until Morbius breaks free from his restraints. Crawling across the ceiling with predatory agility, he viciously attacks a crewman. As the mercenaries rush in, Morbius fully transforms into a monstrous vampire, slaughtering them one by one and draining their blood. In the chaos, Martine is knocked unconscious. When Morbius regains control of himself, he is horrified to watch the security footage of his own rampage. The massacre draws the attention of FBI agents Simon Stroud and Al Rodriguez, who arrive to investigate. Martine is discovered alive, but Morbius flees after calling in a distress signal. The incident also reaches the ears of Milo and Dr. Nicholas. Back in his lab, Morbius isolates himself to study his transformation. He survives by feeding on blood packs and gradually learns to control his extraordinary new abilities: super speed, flight, enhanced reflexes, and immense strength. The bats in his lab even seem to recognize him as their alpha. Milo visits him during a relapse into his monstrous form, but manages to help calm him down. When Milo demands the serum for himself, Morbius refuses, knowing all too well the catastrophic consequences. Determined to check on Martine, Morbius goes to the hospital where she's recovering. But soon after his arrival, a nurse is savagely killed by a vampire-like creature, one that isn't him. Before he can process what's happened, Stroud and Rodriguez confront him. Morbius attempts to escape, but is eventually captured and taken into federal custody. FBI agents Stroud and Rodriguez interrogate Morbius in his cell, but he soon receives a visit from Milo. When Milo deliberately leaves behind his cane, Morbius realizes the truth. Milo has taken the serum, and he is the one responsible for the nurse's murder. Overcome by rage, Morbius transforms, breaks out of the facility, and later witnesses Milo fully embracing his vampiric nature by slaughtering a man at a newsstand. Milo tries to lure Morbius into joining him, insisting they give in to their newfound powers and bloodlust. Their confrontation spills into the subway, where the two clash in midair before crashing in front of horrified onlookers. When police attempt to apprehend Milo, he massacres them without hesitation, while Morbius narrowly escapes into the tunnels. After Martine is discharged from the hospital, Morbius confides in her about his condition and the constant struggle to resist his darker urges, something Milo has already surrendered to. Determined to find a cure, Morbius takes over a counterfeit lab, scaring away its occupants so he can develop a compound that would end his vampirism, though at the cost of his own life. Meanwhile, Milo indulges in his bloodlust, killing a group of men after a nightclub altercation. Soon after, he spies on Morbius working with Martine, realizing he has found a weakness he can exploit. Stroud and Rodriguez investigate the nightclub murders and uncover surveillance footage clearly showing Milo as the killer, finally proving Morbius's innocence. But the revelation comes too late. Nicholas visits Milo in a desperate attempt to reach the boy he once cared for, only for Milo to lash out in jealousy, accusing Nicholas of favoring Morbius. Milo then attacks, leaving Nicholas gravely wounded. Morbius reunites with Martine, but is soon devastated when he learns of Nicholas's fate. He rushes to Nicholas's side, only to arrive moments before his death. Soon after, Milo contacts him, revealing that he has kidnapped Martine. When Morbius finds her, she is gravely wounded by Milo. In her final act of love and loyalty, Martine urges Morbius to drink her blood so he will have the strength to defeat his brother. Unbeknownst to him, a drop of his blood also falls into her mouth. Empowered, Morbius summons a swarm of bats to overwhelm Milo, creating an opening to inject him with the lethal compound. As Milo succumbs, he reflects on their bond and the fact that it was Morbius who first gave him his name. Morbius stays with his brother until his final breath before taking flight into the night. Meanwhile, Martine awakens, reborn as a vampire. In the mid-credits scene, the multiverse tear from Spider-Man, No Way Home, appears, transporting Adrian Toomes into Morbius's universe. After retrieving his Vulture suit, Toomes seeks out Morbius and suggests Spider-Man is at the center of these strange events. He proposes forming a team to take the web-slinger down.